The only thing now is we
Yeah.
can see each other, but my volume is a different level of low. But I'm just gonna have to try and work with it.
That's crazy. Okay, cool. Well, listen, we can see Phil, we can all see each other, we can hear each other. Phil can kind of hear us, just about. Yeah, let's get rolling somewhat. We're just talking.
All right, cool. Let's work with it.
Yeah, we were just talking off air about the whole All-Star thing, which is hilarious. And Phil getting called up by Adam Silver to represent the Eastern Conference because it's so poor and they've got 2 All-Stars. So now it's just random. So we're going to represent them. But we're going to get into the West, the top of the West, the best of the West, WESTworld. We know Westbrook just signed his extension. So, you know, a few things happening there. OKC, and obviously the top 6 projected teams in the Western Conference. Let Phil kick us off on that one. Top 6 teams.
Well, I don't have a list in front of me, so I don't know if
Who's number 6? Who's number 6, Julian?
Clippers, yeah. Then it's T-Wolves, the very contentious T-Wolves. Then the Thunder, then the Rockets, then the Spurs, then the Warriors. Yeah, so Golden State, San Antonio, Houston, Oklahoma, Minnesota. Never thought I'd say that. And LA. Yeah. I think
sounds good for me.
I don't know about the Spurs being number 2.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. I mean, let's go through.
Listen, you
the
can never
teams.
count out the Spurs, but shit has changed, mate.
Listen,
Things have changed.
Things done changed. I mean, things done changed.
I respect Pop, but boy, things have changed.
Yeah, I mean, they're good, but you know who they added? Their big acquisition was Rudy Gay.
Rudy Gay?
Yeah. Who's good.
And I like Rudy, but really
don't.
when you're talking about CP3 and then moves OKC's moved, and as you said, the contentious, debatable T-Wolves, but they're still notable moves.
Yeah.
Rudy Gay is not really enough in that Western Conference, mate, if you ask me.
No, but that's the thing, is I would have flipped the Rockets number 2, the Spurs number 3, because you know what? Kawhi can guard. Kawhi's a great defender, but he can't guard CP and James Harden at the same time. So, and I mean, Danny Green's good, but I don't know if they made enough moves. I mean, I think they were banking on maybe getting D Wade as a backup, as like there was a rumor that he was going to be point guard while Tony Parker was rehabbing, and I think that would have been cool. But D Wade probably thought, no, I just want to get straight to the finals with no worrying about it. So just jump with Cleveland, and you know, I mean, yeah, downside living in Cleveland, but half the year or you're away from the city anyway. So, and you get to play with your best mate. Yeah.
D-Wade in the West would have been too much work at his time in his career. He's not trying to put his body. Yeah. I still think he's got a lot left in the tank, considering, but I think that just would have been too much battling every night. And I think, I agree with you. He's like, come on, man, we go Cleveland, take this 2.3 million or whatever it is, chill with LeBron, and have the best chance and possibly the easiest chance of trying to get this 4th ring. And then I can go back to Miami and do the nostalgia thing and get my statue and whatnot after.
Yeah. So that's the thing, because we didn't. Well, last week we couldn't talk about D Wade so much because that we all sort of knew that was happening, but I don't think it had been finalized. I can't even remember, but like that team. Just to talk about Cleveland really quickly, that's now the deepest roster LeBron's ever had, and it's absolutely insane. Even though crazy. you know, even if Isaiah is still going to come back from injury, I mean, there's a lot of scorers on that team, a lot of playoff.
I was thinking about that today. Their 3rd string team is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's insane. What's that, Aaron?
And I heard that they're looking to Tyronn Lue looking to run Love at the 4, bench Tristan Thompson.
Yeah,
I heard he's looking to put him at the 5.
Yeah, I heard that.
Sorry, no, I'm slipping the tongue. That's what I meant to say. The 5.
Okay, cool.
And putting Jay Crowder at the 4.
Yeah, so I watched some of the preseason stuff, and it looks pretty good.
Yo, Rose looks good, you know.
Yo,
Rose looks good, mate.
I mean, every year's a contract year for D Rose now, so he's gonna be playing his heart out. And it's not hard to look good next to LeBron James. I mean, playing with LeBron, people have made entire careers off single seasons. Like, no one would know who Zydrunas Ilgauskas was if he didn't play with LeBron.
That's true. That's true.
That's true.
Or Wally Zerbiak. Even he. I mean.
That's true. Even the name. You know?
I mean, his best highlight is being spun around by D Wade on some like sideline weird spin move thing to an alley-oop to Shaq. But still, he was there. He was in the playoffs. He's got more points in the playoffs than plenty of other dudes, thanks to LeBron James. So, but yeah, I mean, but just going back to the West, San Antonio being number 2, never write them off. They're going to win 50 games, but the Rockets could win 60. Like, there's the Rockets with CP should steamroll teams. Whether or not the Spurs, if the Rockets and Spurs go 2-3 and they meet in the second round, I wouldn't bet against the Spurs, but it'll be I mean, just because I haven't seen James Harden perform in the playoffs in a big way yet. I don't know. Like, even when he went to the finals with Durant and Westbrook all those years ago, he like fell apart a bit. I mean, that was Miami defense was incredible then, but like I mean, basically, you're putting a really great Spurs team that's always been good with the Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard, who could go out and win MVP this year. We'll talk about that next week. Versus the Rockets, who, although they're great, don't play good defense, and neither of their 2-star players have ever made it all the way to the top of the mountain. So
that is for me as well. Like, for me, obviously, CP3 and Harden are great players, but you never know how they work out together. And you have to see that, and maybe 10-15 games they don't play that good, and in the West they lose a few games because it's the West is very strong, and then maybe San Antonio will go on the second place. But as you said as well, like, the playoffs, they go on. Philip, what do you want to? You was around interrupting me. So I thought you have to say something.
I heard that little noise. I heard the little
No, you know what it is? Because I'm struggling to hear you. It's like, it's kind of difficult. So I don't want to cut in because sometimes I can't hear you. But I was just going to say a lot depends also on this Kawhi injury, because I know there's been setbacks with his return. And that's kind of like minor alarm bells at this moment in time. Because, as we were just saying, it doesn't appear, even though you can't rule out the Spurs and Pop and the organization and their team and all the rest of it, it doesn't appear that they really have that much in terms of additions at the top end. So we just got to really watch this Kawhi injury and see how he returns, because he's going to have quite a lot on his plate this year for them to really do what we know they're capable of doing. You know what I mean? But it's a lot's going to fall on his lap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's the thing, because Kawhi's insanely good. Like, Kawhi could go down as one of the best small forwards to ever play the game if he keeps up this trajectory. But you look at the other teams in the top 6. Golden State have got obviously their insane lineup of 4 incredible players. The Rockets have got Harden and CP3. Thunder have got Hoodie, Melo, PG-13, and Beastbrook. Even the T-Wolves have got Butler, Cat, Wiggins, and even the Clippers have got DeAndre, Blake, and Teodosic, who in his highlight reels, like in his preseason games, looks insane. And then the Spurs are great, but Manu is near 40. Parker is injured and doesn't look like he's not going to be Finals MVP caliber again. He's a good starting point guard, but that is Kawhi by himself. And I know I'm writing off LaMarcus Aldridge there, because I've never been a big fan of his game, and you know.
I can't disagree with you there. Since he's come to Spurs, he's been a bit underwhelming for me.
Yeah.
You know, I was expecting to see greater things from him since he's come to Spurs, and he hasn't shown me that. So I don't disagree with you at all. Yeah,
incredibly underwhelming. I mean, I know what people say about the Spurs and all that, but on the real,
I still think you look like him. I don't care what you say.
That's a whole other discussion. Marcus Aldridge is my brother. I don't think I look like him, but there you go. But aside from all of that, I mean, he's been terrible for me. He's been absolutely terrible for me. And to me, it just looks like Kawhi is by himself. Even all the old guard that you used to count on and say, okay, but Manu, we know he's old, but this, and Tony Parker, but they're all gone. And there's no Tim Duncan and there's nothing. There's just Kawhi. And he's got question marks above him about injuries. I don't see much for the Spurs. And I know people say that and they say you can't count them out. But on the real, if I see the Spurs at 4, there's nothing surprising to me.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
It could be as well, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I think they'll probably get 50 wins. Like they've got 50 wins every year for the last 2 decades, right? So, I mean, they're going to get 50. They'll get 50 or 51 wins, but
yeah, the system will bring that.
Yeah, you know.
Because to be real, at this point in time, you know what? You got the depth chart.
Yeah.
Because outside of Kawhi, I know they lost Jonathan Simmons. Outside of Kawhi and the little Australian, who do they have? His name escapes me now. That's why I'm calling him that. But
I like DeJounte Murray, but he's a couple of years away from being his potential. I just talking about potential. I do like what he will be, but I think that's a couple of years away. But I'm with you. And they obviously didn't keep Jonathan Simmons, who's gone to the Magic. I think he would have made another leap this year, so he's not there. So I agree with you. Is it Patty Mills you were thinking of?
Patty Mills, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, they've got LaMarcus at the 4, who's still a serviceable 4-man. And to quickly go back to him, all I'd say about him is if your go-to shot is a fadeaway over the right shoulder, then you're not a real big man. Get a fucking hook shot. And but after that, there's Davis Bertans, who's good, played really well in the international tournament this year in the summer. And they've still got Powell. You know, Powell's still good. He won't play defense. I mean, just actually looking at the depth chart, their 4th string small forward might have the best name. His name is Jaron Blossomgame. Blossomgame. Yeah, I've got no idea.
Never heard about him.
No.
Boy.
What scouting department pulled him up? Yeah.
His name, wait, come again. His name is Jaron Blossomgame.
Yeah, that's Blossomgame is one word, but where's he from?
Right, and it's not a training camp deal. He's actually on their roster.
He's here. He's from Clemson University.
Okay.
Oh my God, I have never heard of this person, and I know everyone. I've never heard this person before in my life.
No, he's going to go play for the Austin Toros, so yeah, we'll never see him.
Okay.
Okay.
G League.
Yeah. G League. Yeah, G League. That's right. Rebrand. But yeah, I mean, the Spurs number 2, a little bit hopeful. Vegas, probably a little bit hopeful there. But I mean, the Rockets, they got CP, but they traded a lot. They got rid of Beverly, Lou Williams.
That's what I was saying to someone.
Montrezl Harrelson, someone else in that deal.
Sam Dekker, Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams. They did.
Yeah. They traded 4 pieces of in the East could be a starting lineup in the playoffs.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's very reminiscent of that move that Denver made to New York when they traded Melo, and they got back the team that is now blossomed into a really decent core. Like, I mean, I don't know. I really like the move for the Clippers. Really, after watching some highlight stuff.
Who, Teodosic?
You know what? I agree with you, and I said this then. A lot of guys were like, oh, they gave up CP3 and they got trash in return. I was like, listen, man, the amount you got and the pieces you got, obviously CP3 is CP3. But let's not forget, if Blake is healthy, Blake has held down that team because of his passing ability when CP3 was out, as did CP3 when Blake was out. Now, Patrick Beverly is no slouch. No. We're talking about Patrick Beverly, one of the best defensive PGs in the game. And he can get his buckets. Then you put Teodosic in there. Let's not go on and plus, I think another major factor with Doc, I don't know if you'd say demoted or wherever you put it, now only focusing on the coaching only and not doing the GM responsibilities. I think there's layers to this thing, and I think that's another layer that actually helps their overall Clipper situation. I don't think it's as busted having lost CP3 as some people do. So I agree with you to say all that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, the only downside is that team still has Austin Rivers, and that's about it. That's the only bad thing I can say about that team.
Shots fired, boy.
Yeah. I don't like his game. Like, he came in, He went to a shitty situation in New Orleans, should have stayed at Duke, and then he went and played for his dad. And and no, I've seen interviews and stuff, and he said like, "Oh, my dad and I don't really have a great relationship. He was always traveling and playing in the league when I was young, so we didn't really hang out much. But you know what? It's still your dad, and a load of people still give him shit in the locker room for it. And right now he's listed as their starting 2 guard on the depth chart. I was like, no way, I'm not having that at all. I'd rather start Lou.
Yeah, so they got Lou Williams. What other guards? Shooting guards do they have?
There's DeAndre Liggins.
Okay.
I don't know who Sindarius Thornwell is, but he's on there.
Sindarius.
You know that's a Key and Peele name, isn't it?
That's a Key and Peele.
That's a Key and Peele name, mate. Definitely. Sindarius.
That's fire. Go on.
No, but there's at the point guard they got Jawan Evans, Tyrone Wallace. I don't know these guys, but you know what? You might as well start Teodosic, put Beverly at the 2, and then they can both play on either side of the floor and run pick and roll with either Blake or DeAndre, and you've got Danilo or Decker or Wes Johnson at the 3 just to stand in a corner and take threes.
It's funny you say that because I've been watching preseason and I did notice that Doc did do that at one stage. He had Teodosic and Beverly on the floor, and it did look good. So he might go with that a bit more.
The thing I love about Teodosic's game, he's got no fear. Like, it just showed up, started playing against NBA caliber talent. It was throwing passes that could get picked by NBA point guards can't make those passes that he's making. And I'm excited to see that. I mean, Lob City in full effect. Like, there's some. I mean, even Danilo is getting up there. And like, it's the thing. You play with a pass first point guard. You cut harder. You run harder. It's going to be fun. It's going to be real good for the Clips, I think. Not as good as the Thunder. Not as good as the T-Wolves. I don't know. What do you think?
Who, Clips?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that comment.
Yeah.
I agree with that comment.
Clippers at 6. Clippers at 6 seems all right. But they got to work it out. You play with CP for 5 years. You got to work out what it's like to not play with a point guard anymore.
Yeah, there's going to be a new.
Would you say who's 5? Yeah.
Wolves.
Wolves 5.
The smiling.
Look at you.
I just love to hear it. I don't have to say anything. I just love to hear it. Wolves at the 5. And like I said last week, if the Wolves are at the 8th place, I'm fine for that as well. Because I just want to see playoff games from the Wolves.
Games that matter. That'd be great.
And games.
How long has it been? They haven't been to the playoffs since they traded Garnett, right?
Yeah, I in my life, because I'm not. I haven't watched the playoffs game for Garnett, so I have never have seen a playoff game.
Well, they traded Garnett in 2007.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's literally been 10 years. Oh my god. Yeah, that's an entire childhood. Some kid in Minnesota has never seen playoff basketball, and suddenly crazy. They've actually got a pretty decent lineup of that's Jeff Teague. I watched some of their highlight stuff, and they seem pretty good.
Yeah, I watched as well.
I watched their preseason game. They played Teague, but Wiggins, and Taj at the 4 and Cat at the 5. They went with that, and obviously you've still got. Aaron Brooks, Gorgie Dieng, you still got he's on the bench. Shabazz re-signed, so they still got him on the bench. He actually looked really good in preseason.
That seemed okay. I mean, Taj was stepping out and taking threes. Like he's going to have to do that.
So I think he started working on towards the very end of his tenure and tried a bit more in OKC. Was obviously trying to add that more as a staple. Yeah, he banged 2 nice ones.
I mean, what they've got Jeff Teague. The lineup's going to be Teague, Wiggins, Butler, probably Gorgie Dieng ahead of Taj, and then Cat at the 5.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's nice, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, even Dieng can go out and he can't take a 3, but he can happily step up to the free throw line and do a pick and pop.
I like him.
He works hard. He's a good player.
Maybe it's better having him on the court at first, like it's a starting 5, and then bring Taj Gibson from the bench.
Yeah.
So you have a bit better balance from the starting five on the bench,
Yeah, so that's the thing, because Dieng still has a problem of he's a bit foul happy. But yeah, it happens with young big men. So, but yeah, I mean, also Andrew Wiggins, I need to see. He's asking for a lot of money. I need to see a little bit more.
He signed his 148 million deal.
Is it done?
I don't know if it's done, but
it's not done.
I agree.
I thought it was done.
I don't know, but I agree that he has to show more next season, because like Karl-Anthony Towns progressed every year a lot.
Yeah.
He's just 2 years in the league, and Wiggins more or less he progressed as well, but not that much.
No, he's scoring more points, but he's not any more efficient anymore.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing. Like, he's scoring a lot, but we will see.
The disappointing thing for Wiggins is he actually came in the league as his defensive stalwart, and he's lost a lot on the defensive end, like a great deal. Like, I think there were some statistics that pitch him as like really, really bad on defense. So the addition of the offense is fantastic, but he needs to be careful of sliding so far down the totem pole with regards to his defense. He should really address that. And you're playing for Tibbs, so come on, like that is defense. That's the D guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I saw an interview with Wiggins, and he was really, really annoyed when they asked him about what's about your defense? Are you progressing there? And he was really annoyed, and he was
Westbrook.
Annoyed. Yeah, not like Westbrook type of thing that he is going crazy and everything in the interview, but kind of annoyed and thinking that he plays okay defense. And he said like, I play against the best small forwards and shooting guards and everything, and I got the best players in the league and everything. But when you come into the league like as a defensive player, and you make 20 points, but you don't play defense, and it has to be okay for you that the people, the press asks you, what about your defensive game?
No time to get annoyed, mate.
Yeah. That's the thing. He takes like 18 shots to get 22 points. Like, he needs to calm down. Like, also now, but on that starting lineup, he doesn't have to be their primary wing scorer anymore. Like he used to be, because like Rubio couldn't be it.
That's the thing. I think that season he will score more and more efficient, because now, like the same, like Isaiah tells you, I'm now playing with LeBron. Now he's playing with Butler. Of course, not Butler is not LeBron, but the defense has to be of the other team has to be concentrated, focused on a lot of players.
Exactly.
And then usually he will be more open. And
that's the thing. I think Wiggins, I don't think he's going to score as many points as last year, but it should be much more efficient. And he should say, like, it's like, if you're guarding the best players, I mean, he's not even going to guard the best player on the other team anymore, because Butler is. Because all the time Butler was in the East, he was the only guy who could fuck up LeBron James. Like, you look back at the tape, he was the best LeBron stopper. And LeBron still went to the finals every year, but he gave it his best. He gave it the old college try. Like, didn't take no shit from anyone. But
you're right.
But I mean, the T-Wolves are good. They got a good lineup. From the early preseason stuff I've seen, some of my earlier qualms have relaxed. So,
you've seen the lights,
I've seen the light. I've seen the cold, dead Minnesota light. Yeah.
No doubt. Well, I would say the Spurs will be in that fourth spot in front of them. Yeah, I would put them there. I definitely would have to put Rockets and Thunder ahead of the Spurs, which therefore means they're in the fourth spot.
So Rockets at the Thunder at 3, or Rockets at 3? I think it's a 2-3 situation there. Like, could go either way.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'd say that.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's very much a 2-3 situation. I mean, there's I have to see a little bit. That's a problem. Because if I just look at it in a vacuum, I would probably edge OKC. But then there's just so many little variables. I just got to see a little something. But the firepower is crazy.
The firepower's insane. But did you watch any of the OKC, their scrimmage, like their blue v white scrimmage?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Only thing that I was a little bit anxious about was it seemed to be, and maybe because it was a short scrimmage and stuff, and Westbrook wasn't playing, but it looked like Paul George and Carmelo were just trading shots on the post. Like it's all like your turn, like fade away sort of stuff. Like, but Melo looks in shape. Like, and from all the talk, like they seem to have a really good thing going in that locker room. So, you know, here's hoping. I want nothing but good basketball from that team. And I love that Westbrook. I love that Westbrook re-signed.
Me too.
And I love that he did it on Durant's birthday. Like,
yeah, me
too. There's no way he didn't know, like, at all.
Yeah, I don't care what they say. Trust me, he knew, and it was planned. You know what I'm saying? Westbrook is the man in the black hat. He's not playing around. The way he drops his little digs and stuff is just hilarious.
It's brilliant.
But,
I was reading something earlier about like the past 4 months being the greatest 4 months of Russell Westbrook's life. You win MVP, you sign a 10-year extension with Jordan, you sign your 5-year extension with your team, you have your first son, and there was something else as well. Like, what a great 4-month run, man.
No doubt. Yeah, it's a shout out.
But what I like about that signing is the fact that, you know, some people at the beginning were like, you know, this is just a 1-year rental for PG and possibly Melo.
Yeah.
And I think that signing drastically strengthens, depending on how the year goes, OKC being able to keep that unit intact. And let's go worst case scenario. PG and Melo leave. You have your money and you also have the backing, knowing that you have a GM that can not only make multiple blockbuster moves, but can attract big name free agents and is a great guy in the draft. So you can feel comfortable knowing that, okay, worst case scenario, which I don't think will happen, but worst case scenario, Melo and PG leave, I have full confidence in Sam Presti.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that is a good move. But as I said, I don't actually think both of them leave. I think this whole thing about it's a foregone conclusion that PG is going home to LA, I think that kind of changes now. If they have the season that they potentially could have, PG might be like, boy, this Oklahoma thing, I might have to stick around.
Yeah. That's the thing. He'll still, but like every NBA player still hangs out in, well, Melo hangs out in New York in the summertime, but everyone else lives in LA in the summer to train. So during the season, you're in the gym or on the road. So,
this is what I'm saying now. Now there is a point, especially, you know, you're putting down roots there. You got your house there, your family's there and stuff. You got children, just the whole nine. You are living in that place. Don't get it twisted. So there is a valid point in certain cities not having that draw, or even if you are, you know, getting turned up all the time and you're in, you know, Albuquerque or whatnot, it's not going to happen, is it? But at the same time, like you just said, more time during the season, you're getting it in. You know what I'm saying? You're in the gym, you know what I'm saying? You're at the stadium. There ain't really that much time to be sitting around twiddling your thumbs, complaining about the lack of excitement in Oklahoma. So I think
you're working, exactly.
You're at work.
Yeah,
so
you're getting a lot of money, man. So.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that element is a little bit overblown, because let's not get twisted as well. Okay, yeah, you got traveling time, jet lag, etc. But come on, man, the money these guys are making, wherever you want to be at, you can be there.
Yeah. You can bring the excitement even if you live in Outer Mongolia. It's fine. You can afford to make the excitement that you need if you need to. You know what I mean? So I agree with you.
Yeah, straight. So okay, so we've got what we've got Clippers, T-Wolves. That sounded like from Happy Days back in the day or something. Yeah. T-Wolves, San Antonio Spurs. We're saying it's a 2-3. It's a bit of a toss-up. I think I'm slightly on the OKC side of it, a tiny bit more. It's like 51-49. But yeah, it's a 2-3.
Gary thing or what? 51-49. What do you think?
But yeah, I definitely see it going like that.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I'm definitely amped to see how that all plays out, especially with those two teams in particular.
I cannot wait for 23rd of November. That's the first game, Thunder against the Warriors, and then we have to wait until February for the next two. So, I mean, that's going to be a great. was saying, Westbrook steps on the court, he thinks he's the best player in the entire world. Like, he's not wrong. Man, a lot of nights he's not wrong. So,
yeah.
Like, he's going to be guarding Steph Curry. You're going to have Kevin Durant has said before that he thinks Paul George might have the best game in the NBA. Like, if he could have anyone else's game, he'd have Paul George. It's like so smooth. Like, and Paul George is like, he's coming back from that injury, but you know what? That he could be a Durant stopper. Like,
no, I think he's back. I think last year we could say he was coming back. I think now he's back.
Yeah.
As horrific as that injury was, because it was like a clean snap in a way, it's kind of like not as bad.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I think now, and obviously don't forget he is top 1, top 2. You know, I'm biased. Top 2, two-way player or whatever. You know, but Durant's gonna get his buckets, but I reckon if it's someone who can slow down, if for want of another phrase, shave a few buckets off that.
Yeah.
PG is one of the guys who can. Man.
Yeah.
I reckon that can be strong.
What do you think Carmelo guards Draymond?
Let's not talk about Carmelo guarding anyone. That's a myth.
That'd be great.
But you know, but then again, you see, Draymond can score, but obviously we know he's a utility player. He's he's a Swiss Army knife, whatever, all these other cliches. So you ain't really got to worry about him necessarily putting up major buckets. You got to worry about everything else that he does as a well-rounded player. In terms of actual buckets, it's, you know, obviously KD and Clay and
Curry. That's what I'm saying. I think that matchup it's all right. It's all right, man. Remember, you still got Roberson or Robertson, whatever they're calling him now.
Is it Roberson or Roberson? For fuck's sake, what is it? He needs to make up his fucking mind.
It's Roberson, but you know, these damn commentators never get anyone's name right. Nikola Moradic.
You know what though? I've missed so much about the NBA. Very little. I've missed more than Tommy Heinsohn doing Celtics home game commentary. Like he's the most Homer commentator in the entire game. He's calling out shit to the refs. It's fucking hilarious.
You know what? I think he was up to that last night as well.
Yeah.
I was watching the preseason and it was like some play or whatever, and he's like, "Come on, call the foul." I'm like, "Bro, like, seriously, be objective, man. Be professional. Be objective." You know who else I hate for that as well? I think his name's Alan Carr, that old black guy from the Cleveland. He calls the Cleveland games.
Just talking about,
it's just ridiculous. He shouldn't even do the job. Like he doesn't even try to be objective. It's silly.
I know. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a battle between that guy there and the guy from the Cavs, because they are crazy out here.
You know, maybe if there's like a slow period sometime of the season, we can do a like ranking all 30 home team commentators. Like, that
would be fun. That would actually be like a nice light-hearted pod to do still, man. Alan Carr's ridiculous. LeBron James could do something so basic, and he's like, LeBron James bounces the ball with the left hand. You're like, bro, come on, man. It's overhyped everything. It's ridiculous.
I mean, but just before we drop off this subject, I need to say it real quick. The guy who ever does the Portland commentary, he sucks. He sucks at his job. He should be fired. Like it's so.
Is he the one that's got no vibe? He's just like dead.
There's a guy who's got no vibe and another guy who's just way too hyped. Like, who I swear must be like 22. You know, it's like CJ McCollum. This is like he's all right. Calm down. Anyway, yeah, we can do that. Because I mean, I love the Miami guys as well, but you know, let's see.
The guy who goes every 3-pointer. The guy goes kaboom,
kaboom. Yeah.
Every single 3-pointer, kaboom. Come on, man. That's played out now, man.
Yeah, it's done. Okay,
stop doing that. It's just corny now.
You want played out? The Clippers
some
commentator.
Batman thing.
Like the Clippers commentator, bingo. Bango, like, oh, you know, it's not right.
Who are these people? Right. 1920s commentators.
Bingo, you know.
You know, bingo. Who does this?
Bingo,
what?
banjo. That's crazy. Now, you know what? Look, man, I'm making a note. Let me get a pen. We're doing that. Trust me.
Doing that.
That could be funny. I just feel like it could be funny, man.
Need that league pass. You know what? There's a point where it's going. The Spanish language broadcast from Miami is better than the The Clippers English language one. It definitely is. I can't understand a word of it.
No, sometimes the Spanish commentary is hilarious.
The Spanish commentary can be real fun.
True.
Damn. And let's see what.
While we are we are talking about the West, and we've avoided them thus far, but we know we have them for number one. But what do you think on the Warriors this season? What their squad looks like compared to last season, etc.
I would just like to say that I think the Warriors obviously are the dominant force in the West and in the league. But one thing I was saying yesterday is this whole sailing through the season that made last year so bad. I can't see them doing that this year. Yes, I still project them to win the most games and whatever, but I think that they're going to have to actually come out playing more games, and they're going to have to be a bit more serious than they did last year, because I do think that collectively having to deal with, as we just broke down, OKC, Rockets, like, it's not just a case of, we have to worry about the Spurs and maybe Cleveland. Now there's maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 teams that will challenge you, that will push you every night. And I think collectively playing those teams, 2 to 3, 4 times a year, whatever it is, that's going to wear on them a bit more. And I just expect them to be dominant, yes, but this cakewalk they had last year, I see the end of the cakewalk. Like, you're going to have to really play. And I think in that is where they will probably drop just those couple more games. And also is where the likelihood of the upset, which I so crave, of them getting boxed out, is more likely, for that to happen.
No, I agree with that 100%. It is not going to be easy at all, and they do make it all the way, which they are projected to do.
Yeah,
it's going to be some blood, sweat, and tears. Trust me. It's going to be a grind. They're not going to come out there looking all shiny, and it's not going to happen like that.
In the playoffs last year, they lost 2 games, right? Is that it? Like one during the West, and one to Cleveland. They might lose 4 in the playoffs when they invariably get there. I don't think it'll be to one team. Like they're going to drop. I don't know. I think it's silly to. They're the champs. It's not like. I remember that season where Miami beat the Spurs and came back next year and it was like, that was a shortened season.
I remember that.
I mean, this case, the Warriors really are the champs, and you have to beat them. Like, there's no way around it. And I don't think you can. They've got Steph Curry, who people are already saying he's the second best point guard of all time. Yeah, I've seen that. People. Put it this way, Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, it's
that's kind
he
of
may get there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if he's there yet.
I think Isaiah Thomas or
I'm saying hold your horses, man. Seriously, hold the horse and the carriage. That's it's a bit way too early for that.
Yeah. This is a stupid thing. LeBron James might be the top 5 point guards of all time. It's stupid to talk about right now, but I mean, they've got Steph Curry, who could be one of the best point guards of all time. They've got Klay Thompson, who might be one of the best pure shooters of all time. They've got Kevin Durant, who is going to go down as one of the best small forwards of all time.
Yeah.
Draymond Green, who has statistics every year, seems to have one of the best power forward seasons of all time. People always saying he's not scoring all the points, but he's doing everything. And I mean, then you've got Zaza Pachulia, the X Factor, going to go out there.
The greatest center of all time.
Zaza Pachulia will get you 6 rebounds, 6 points, and 1 broken ankle on the other team.
And the 1 broken ankle is
the most pivotal broken ankle ever.
For real though.
I mean, that's the thing about Kawhi.
They brought a ruling about that as well. Did you hear about that?
They what?
Yeah, they brought a ruling in about that as well.
Oh yeah, you can't do that now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I remember there's some Larry Bird interview. He Bill Laimbeer used to try to do that to him back in the day. And one time Larry, he did that to Bill Laimbeer, and Bill never did it again. Just looked him up and said, never do that again. He never did. So maybe someone just needs to give Zaza a punch in the head. But doesn't Zaza do MMA or something? I don't know. And JaVale!
Yeah.
JaVale and Nick Young back together again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Nick Young's there now.
Let's get Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas is backup point guard. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My God.
I just think it's going to be blood, sweat, and tears, man. But
it's going to be hard.
They still are the most dominant team. You know what I mean?
It's going to be fun.
I led off with that. They are still the most dominant team.
Yeah, they're going to drop some games. And the Western Conference Final, I can foresee that being a bit of a situation for them.
Yeah.
I can foresee that being a situation.
Well, that's the thing. Sure. In our lineups, right, if we've got Spurs going number 1, they would play what? The projected lineup was the Jazz at 8. That would be a steamroll. Like that would be done in 4
games. You mean Golden State, yeah?
Yeah, Golden State. Like, if the playoff bracket fell as we think it will, then it'll be them against the Jazz. They'd run through the Jazz, no problem. Like, now, I've seen some stuff from the Jazz. They seem okay, but they're not better than they were last year, and they got destroyed last year. So it will happen again. And then they'd play whoever wins the 4-5 battle, who we think would be the Spurs against the Wolves. So I don't know who would win that, actually. If all the things we've said about the Spurs come true, like, the Wolves could beat them, maybe that's too hopeful. Like, the Wolves, the first time that so many of their players have been to the playoffs, and especially their young dudes, the guys who take all the shots, maybe even say the Spurs win that, then the Warriors have to play the Spurs, and Kawhi in his interviews, and I swear, I've watched some of their media day stuff. I've never heard Kawhi say so much. Like, he said more in one interview than I think I've ever heard him say throughout his entire career. And he was pissed at Zaza for the ankle stuff. Like, he's going to come back with fire. Like, and like I say, even if they win that, they then need to play either the Rockets or the Thunder. And I don't think Steph Curry wants to have 2 weeks of playing against Westbrook or Chris Paul. So
he definitely don't want to be playing with Westbrook. He does not want that problem. That's what I'm saying. I think if it goes like that, and then you have OKC against them in the Western Conference Finals, with them having gone through all of that and not swept everybody and had all this time to put up their feet, that could be a situation. I'm telling you.
I agree.
That could definitely be a situation.
Especially the thing with the Thunders, if they have time. They have 82 games to
figure it out.
Figure everything out, right? Then they have the playoffs, the first 2 rounds probably to figure it all out as well, and then they have the finals, conference finals. And if everything works out like step by step, they will be really, really, really good. And then I see the probability that they can win against them, against the Spurs, against the Warriors, but.
Because they match up really well. They match
up. I like the way they match up.
That's the thing. So.
Don't forget all Steven Adams in the middle.
That's what I'm saying.
Steven Adams is a brick wall. Like that man might set the most beautiful screens in the NBA. Like,
I really, really like Steven Adams, man.
I'm saying.
I really like that guy, man. I just like his style. I like his attitude, his work ethic, and I like how he fits within their system. And he's a perfect center to play with Russ as well.
Also, you're not starting because Zaza Pachulia ain't starting to fight with Enes Kanter. Not Enes Kanter. Screw Enes Kanter. Over Steven Adams. And if he does, Steven Adams wins that fight.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's lunch, breakfast, dinner, and everything. That's a wrap.
Steven Adams is a big dude, man.
That's
the only sad thing about losing Kanter is if they do go to if Warriors and Thunder do meet in the playoffs, I would have liked to see Enes Kanter get in Durant's grill.
That's true.
He's got a lot to say.
He has.
But yeah, I mean, when we talk about the Warriors, even if they get through all that, even if they make it to the finals, they then need to face the deepest Cleveland team that LeBron's ever had. the Warriors need to shape up. Basically, they've never had the problems the last few years of like getting ready to play, but it's not going to be a cakewalk at all. Thank Christ, because last year was boring. So, but it's going to be great. When's the first game? We say this every week, but
I think 2 weeks, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah. When does preseason end?
I'm quite happy with preseason at the moment. Like, it's good. It's good fun. Like,
yeah, I've been liking preseason so far.
Let's do a quick. If you've been watching highlights, who's the player that's made you like think, shit, like they need some minutes, like among the rookies and stuff? Because I've got a guy who should be getting minutes. Like,
Who that?
I have to remind myself of the
Who's
game
that?
now.
Kuzma.
Yeah.
Kuzma, yes.
Kyle Kuzma.
He did good against the Wolves,
Yeah.
Kuzma's
no fear. Like, he's big. He looks like Ben Simmons. He's got that build, but he can shoot.
He played great yesterday, man. He was on fire yesterday, but when he missed that last shot, that was the rookie mistake because he was hot. He tried to draw the foul. You know what I mean? He shot it a bit too early. I was like, okay, cool. I was watching that at work because I was on some stupid early shift and the game was still on.
Yeah.
And he looked good though. He looked good.
Damn.
But talking about them rookie mistakes and trying to draw the foul, they brought in a rule about that as well, isn't it? About basically, trying to draw fouls with them mad non-shots.
Them stupid jump in the air and lean into you when you're nowhere near me bullshit. What's the rule? I'm glad they've done something about that. What's the rule?
Basically, they've just added an element of discretion. So basically, the ref can say like, nah. You know what I mean? You need more people.
They were leaning for it. Right.
Yeah.
They needed to do that because I've seen some absurd things where the defender is nowhere near the offensive player and you're clean jumping into them to try and get the contact. Come on, man.
You have to be actually trying to shoot. You need to be in the shooting motion. Stop all that foolishness now. You know what I'm saying? Guys are out here doing star jumps in the air.
That's not the motion of shooting.
But that's the thing, like, the players who seem to do that all the time are like Jamal Crawford. He does that thing with his legs. He's always looking for it. Jason Kidd used to do it all the time.
The kick out, yeah.
I mean,
Jamal's the king.
Oh yeah, sorry, we didn't talk about Jamal Crawford. That incredible pickup for the T-Wolves. That net game.
That's what I'm saying. That's why the Wolves are so deep, man.
No, mate, that's not a good pickup. I do not like Jamal Crawford on that pickup at all. Like he can shoot. He's a ball stopper. He can't play defense. He's too old.
Yeah,
no.
What?
I don't want him. I don't want him on my team.
I love. Okay.
You know what? I'm in stitches right now. Right?
You do this every week, man. I swear. Wow. Okay.
Julian is special. Listen. No, but on the road. Cool. You're entitled to your opinion.
Look, I'm taking Jordan Crawford ahead of Jamal right now.
Wow.
Jordan Crawford lighting up the Chinese basketball league.
I don't even know what to say, mate.
I'll tell you why I'm actually in stitches, right? Because I'm watching Jan's face and I'm watching Philip's face. They are just killing me right now. There's the look of disbelief at what's coming up.
No, because the thing is, it's all relative, isn't it? Like, okay, I don't disagree with you that he doesn't play, the greatest defense. He's not some Draymond Green defender. His age, I can't hold the man's age against him. The man's age is the man's age. Like, come on. But some people are specialists. Not everyone is going to be the all-round defensive, offensive, everything, hit free throws, bang threes, post up, drive to the hoop, have handle. But when you look at what he does have, he is a one-on-one player. He is a great handle. He is a great ISO. He is when you need that guaranteed bucket. That's the nature of his style. And all things relative, I don't hold his negatives against him at all. I think Jamal Crawford is a great player, a fantastic addition to a team, and there's a reason why he's been Six Man of the Year 3 times, is it? Or 4 times or whatever? And those negatives that you mentioned, I don't hold against him at all in the slightest, man. That's my personal opinion.
That's I agree with you, Philip, because like for me, Jamal Crawford is a perfect it's a perfect addition to that Timberwolves team, because they have a good starting five, they have good bench players, and they have Jamal Crawford. So I don't know, like, if the first 5 players don't score at all, you bring Jamal Crawford. He scores 30 points or something like that. Obviously, he does not play any of defense, but as Philip said, he's a specialist, and to me, he's one of the best.
Am I building my team around Jamal Crawford? No, but do I want him on my team? Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm a major fan of Jordan Crawford, but come on, man, that's disrespectful, man.
Yeah, and I agree. I will never start Jamal Crawford. Never. I don't want to play him as a starter. Never for the Wolves. But he is not a starter. He's a perfect 6-man or perfect 7-man, and so I'm really, really happy that he's on my team. So
each to their own, mate. Each to their own.
Yeah. All right. He's not going to average 10 points a game. You look real good playing next to Chris Paul. And you know what? I need Andrew Wiggins to learn from someone who ain't going to ISO every game. So whatever. That's fine. They're going to suck. They're going to get blown out in the playoffs. They're going to match up with the Thunder or the Spurs and get killed. And then they're going to trade Wiggins, and everyone's going to know that he's a piece of shit who should. I just keep on looking back when they traded Love for Wiggins and thinking, Cleveland, just hold on to him. Just hold on to Wiggins, because you got him and LeBron. You could have played a full court press. You could have been the best defense since LeBron and since Michael and Scotty. And you know what? Maybe I'm just annoyed at that still, but I don't know. They could have tried it for 6 months. The Kevin Love trade would have still been there at the All-Star break. You know?
Yeah. Okay. So you have a real backstory.
It's a whole thing. I don't.
History, so I get that. Okay. Like you have a real trauma, I guess.
Also, Jamal Crawford last year's player efficiency rating was 12. The average is 15, and you can't even crack that with playing next to Chris Paul. Please. Chris Paul made everyone better, so you take Chris Paul
normally is not on the floor when Jamal Crawford plays.
Oh, they were? Yeah. Well, sorry, then you're just on the floor next to Blake Griffin, who apparently is one of the best passing power forwards in the game.
When I remember seeing Jamal Crawford playing, he's the one and only player on the team. Like, he has 4 shit players around him, and he does everything. Like, that is like I remember Jamal Crawford playing.
Yeah. But I love volume scorers. I love them. Yeah.
Clearly. Clearly. Well, yeah, you got a whole vendetta there anyway, so you got, you know what I mean? All kind of trauma and all type of stuff happening since the Wiggins Love trade in Minnesota. Yeah. So
I don't think Tibbs is going to play him a lot. I really don't think Tibbs is going to play him much. Right. I'd be surprised if Jamal Crawford scores more than 10 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the good players that are playing for him, like that could be maybe. But even though I like if he plays 8 points, he will. If he scores 8 points a game, he will score 8 points that are important and at the time that the team needs that 8 points.
Okay. I don't think he plays in the playoffs.
Oh, you're having a laugh now.
Nah.
Minnesota get to the playoffs and they don't play Jamal Crawford.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah.
Well, no, we're recording this, right? So I'll
return to this.
Look, I'll make a bunch of bold claims. I'll do a bunch of hot takes, and I'll do suicides for everyone that I fuck up during this season. All right?
That's right.
Well, I'm not one for making mad bets without some consequences. So I'm not just saying this. Like, I'll pay the prices for it. I don't mind. So yeah, I'll do suicides because I don't drink. So yeah, I'll do suicides.
Okay.
If Jamal Crawford averages 15 points a game, I'll do 10 suicides.
No, but this is what I'm saying. It shouldn't be hinged on that. He may not average 15 points a game. He may not average 10. He's not required to. That's not what I'm saying, and that doesn't make him whack
No.
because he's not averaging 10 points a game. He is a guy who you bring in to fit a specific role and use his specialist skills at certain times in the game. And the fact that he doesn't average 15 points a game, for me, is neither here nor there. That doesn't discredit what he does. But that's just my personal opinion anyway.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. That's not actually what you like.
Me and my
Julian, man.
All right, whatever. I don't want him on my team. Right. You guys can have it.
Cool.
So, we're doing okay.
Fantasy.
One of you motherfuckers, better take him. Better take
him. Jan's gonna have him in his fantasy team.
Look, tell you what,
I'll tell you what. It's not even about that though.
What
it is that the fact that you're proclaiming that he's trash.
I'm not saying he's trash. I'm just saying I don't want him on my team. I'm going to take
no, you said
I'm going to take Jaron Blossomgame.
This guy is mocking it. Blossomgame in there. Blossomberger, whatever his name is.
You see him, he's going to light up the G League.
That's funny.
Cool.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Blossomgame. Trust the Blossomgame.
That medication, though, seriously. Man.
I know, right? Yeah, I need
Where's it at? But all right, cool. So, all jokes aside, and Blossomgame and such the like. So yeah, we basically ran it down. We spoke about the Warriors and that. Top of the show, you did mention something, and it's like I'm getting a blank in my All-Star game. There you have it.
Yeah.
Right, the All-Star game. So I was otherwise engaged when that news came out. So fill me in properly again, exactly what they're doing.
Right,
letting captains pick and whatnot, yeah?
Yeah, well, the ESPN's reported it.
Is that the only element they're changing, or is it?
I think so. First, okay. ESPN said the change in the format. 2 captains will select the teams regardless of the conferences the players play in. Players who win the fan vote from each conference will be the captains. There'll still be 12 players selected from each conference for the game. 5 players from each conference will be selected as starters, with the fan vote being worth 50%, player vote worth 25%, and media vote worth 25%. 7 reserves for each team will be picked by each conference's head coaches, which is nice. I like that. I like the coaches having a little bit more of a say. But first way, it's going to be LeBron and Steph Curry, isn't it? So
hold on. So just to be clear, because it's not loading as you're speaking. So it's not going to be called East versus West, right?
No, it's going to be LeBron versus Steph. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Team LeBron, Team Steph, or Team Curry, or whatever.
Right.
I hope this lasts a year, because you know what? The system might be a little bit fucked up, but I want East versus West. There are better ways to make it more interesting, like put money on the line or something. Like, like Larry Bird won like a car for winning a 3-point contest once upon a time, right? What happened to that? Like, I want people winning cars, not jumping over them. Yeah.
What I was saying to my boy today is that because he's a firm advocate for the top 16 teams regardless of conference, and just putting the best product out there. And I said to him that I understand that in theory, but we all know this thing is cyclical. So at the moment the West is loaded. We've seen times in the past where the East has been loaded. What happens when that changes again? So I think that's where the kind of East v West thing kind of still stands up, even though I know at the moment, due to the imbalance on the West, it seems like it doesn't. But I'm with you with the incentivizing. Yeah. I'm with you.
Me too.
You know,
agreement. Yes. Consensus.
People are playing money walks in it. Bullshit.
Yeah.
So money talks. So
yeah.
You make it more about money. People out there play for, because at the moment the money they get is like, for millionaires it's like peanuts. So they don't. There's no incentive.
Do it for charity. Do it for something.
I think it's like 25 grand, or for them it's a joke.
Like
so you make it some serious money, and people.
Like, I think the next change should be like what we were saying about. Well, they changed the rules for the draft, so they're not going to reward the shittest team for tanking. It's going to be like the bottom 3, and are going to have the same chance of getting the number 1 pick. And then I would love to see like a week-long quick tournament to win the 8th seed. Like, I think, yeah, that would be so much fun, especially now because they're extending the season by a week to cut down on the back-to-backs.
One and done, like in college.
Yeah,
I like that actually.
Yeah, a one and done would be insane.
One and done.
I like that.
Yeah,
I think that's sick actually. I like that idea.
Yeah. I mean, and people have been putting out ideas for how to make the All-Star game more interesting. Maybe do something at All-Star weekend, and that contributes to maybe your draft standing. Like, I don't know, but I think there's more stuff to be done rather than making it a fan vote and this weird exhibition game. Because I want All-Star games where I don't want to see people injured, but I want to see them try.
You want to see
for sure.
Like, I don't want to see. It might have been funny as fuck, but I don't want to see Steph Curry like lying on the floor when Giannis comes in for a windmill dunk. Like, I want to see him try and block it.
I think Curry will never try to block that, but I agree with you.
Well, maybe not him, but I know what you mean.
No, someone. I want someone to try and block it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, the whole All-Star thing. Yeah. They do need to do something. It's a bit crazy.
They need to stop with
the fan vote bit. Always got to be careful with that. You always get them funny ones. Like, who did they try to get in last year?
Well, Zaza almost made it.
Zaza got his whole country to vote for him.
Yeah. So you know
what though? The fan vote does get on my nerves though. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Because people forget that fan is fanatic.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers is crazy.
Because it's like last year. It was
voting for Pachulia. What are you doing?
Like, Melo gets in ahead of Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal was a better player last year. Like, just Bradley Beal deserved it. Damian Lillard is so much fun. I know the West is just insane for point guards, but I want to see Lillard play more All-Star games because he's guy's going to take it seriously as well. Like, he's not going to let some opposite point guard light him up. So I just want guys who care. I want to see. I don't want to see fight like a fight, but I wouldn't mind. Yeah. Well, how about you play for home court or something? Yeah. I don't know.
There just needs to be more to gain.
Yeah. And all the other contests. I want a 3-point contest, a dunk contest. I don't care about the skills challenge.
Oh, get rid of that.
Yeah. Nah. What's the other one where they get like the retired players and other people? They do there's a half court shot. Fuck that. No one cares about that. Celebrity game gone. Who cares? Like,
I don't care.
No. 3 events. That's it. You need 3 events.
Yeah.
Oh, the rookie game. I like the rookie game. But then, what are they going to do for the rookie game? Is that going to be fan vote as well, or is that still East and West? Or is it? No, it was at selections. Last year was Chuck and Shaq, right? Or
teams, right? Yeah, you had teams, right? Yeah.
Nah.
Team selection.
Nah, don't like that.
Big coaches and that.
So we're gonna. I suppose we can start wrapping this convo up. But next week we're gonna talk like awards and stuff. And just having looked at some footage like the Philadelphia scrimmages, Markelle Fultz, he ain't moving on defense. He is standing still. He is not in his stance. Ben Simmons.
Really, I haven't seen any.
I didn't like it. Just little bits I saw, I didn't like it. But Ben Simmons looks great. Ben Simmons looks fucking amazing.
Okay. To be fair, I haven't really seen their scrimmages properly. I saw a very short piece of it come on my timeline, and I just saw Brick City.
Oh yeah, no, that was sad. That was sad.
Yeah, so and I was busy doing something else, so I just kind of skipped past it in that moment. So I will check it out. But yeah. So basically, what you're saying as a little precursor to next week is that Markelle Fultz
he's got work to do.
He's got a lot of work to do.
I mean, he probably we'll get into next week, but he probably won't win Rookie of the Year just because of the guys he's playing with. Like Ben Simmons is going to steal votes and is going to want the ball in his hands a lot. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll get into that next week. It's a good rookie crop anyway.
I reserve my judgment.
All right.
I'm fine. I'm happy that the Wolves won't win that award because that award normally says that your team sucks.
No doubt. Cool, man. We're here once again. Another good pod. Another good group call out here. We'll see what time we'll meet next week. Probably similar-ish.
Yeah.
Midweek. And yeah, man. Good day to everybody. Good evening, good night.
Same
cool.
to you. Take care, guys.
Cool, man.
Take it easy, lads.
Take it easy.
See you later.
See you later.